Hi everyone, this is your favorite Minecraft Pro YouTuber, and I am here playing some of the original Fallout games. I have wanted to give these a try since playing some of the more modern games like Fallout New Vegas and Fallout 4. I've played a little Fallout 4 and I've played through Fallout Vegas, so I wanted to give the original Fallouts a try. I got into character creation and found a word that I didn't know what to do with in the character creation. I believe it was called sequence. I just figured that it was related to hacking, but after digging around that character creator a little more, I thought maybe it wasn't related to hacking after all. Maybe it's related to combat, and that's when I remembered on a previous video when I tried to play Arena for a little while, the game actually forces you to dig into the game manual at the beginning in order to get by one of the first room puzzles. And so I thought if I wanted to get the original or the classic Fallout experience, I would have an unboxing and be confronted with not only the game, but also the game manual that it comes with. I'm trying to put myself in those shoes, right? And I think one of the first things I would do before getting it downloaded is at least flip through the Fallout survival guide here, which is what I have now. This actually comes included when you purchase the classic Fallout games over Steam, and so I wanted to get a good read, and I'm looking at it now. It's 121 pages, so I don't think I'm going to do like a full read through. I think I'm going to try to do on this PDF similar to what I would do if I had unboxed this game, and that's to look through and find some of the things that interest me, kind of flip through the index or the table of contents at the beginning, find some tidbits, and I imagine that I will just return back to this at some point when I am in the game and I'm feeling a little stumped. But for now, I'm just going to do a brief reading of what I think is relevant or eye-catching or interesting, ideally just the same as if I had just cracked open the original Fallout video game box and was getting ready to play the game as it installed onto my computer. So, Vault Dweller's Survival Guide. This is kind of role-played in future. I had to scroll through it a little bit, and they have this background information about, welcome to Vault 13, the latest in a series of public events, blah, 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 from Vault Tech. And then it has this, don't let what could have happened bother you. We have enough problems to deal with in the here and now, by the Overseer. So that's pretty fun. One of the first thing I'm noticing is that it's the year is set in 2077, which of course is relevant to the Fallout series. It's also relevant to the Cyberpunk series, and I don't know, it must just be a catchy year name. Okay, so in the table of contents, we have some setup, welcome to the Vault of the Future, simulation, which is the tutorial, vault personnel, which is characters, instrumentation, which is your interface. I have a pretty good feeling that I'm going to be in there maybe a little more than some of these other chapters. Conflict resolution is combat, and then there is a section for appendices. It's got a different page layout than what I expected. I was a little bit confused about this at first, but this is page 1 of section 4 all the way to page 35 of section 4. So section 4 is 35 pages, section 5 has 23 pages, and so on. So let's dig into their beginning here, their roleplay beginning. Welcome to Vault 13, the latest in a series of public defense works from Vault Tech, your contractor of choice when it comes to the best in nuclear shelters. Vault Tech, America's final word in homes. This document, VTP, the Vault Dweller's Survival Guide, is for the events following a worldwide nuclear war. In the case of limited-scale nuclear war or other world-ending catastrophe, please refer to the appropriate documentation. See also pages section 1.8, or page section 1.8. End of the world cause document number. Limited scale nuclear war is for O2. Disease is for O1. Starvation is for O3. Flooding is for 100. Meteor is for 020B. Title, Vault Dweller's Survival Guide Abridged. Coping with Mr. Virus, How to Eat Rat for starvation. Flotation homes and seaweed for flooding, and How to Dodge Falling Rocks. Asterisk, document not available at this time. Will be available third quarter of 2078, which yeah, doesn't come around. The Vault series of survival shelters are designed from the ground up to provide the best chance for a good life following nuclear Armageddon. It is the duty of every American citizen to learn and use the skills necessary for a comfortable Vault life. The best place to start is with a description of your new home. Important Vault statistics, not particularly important Vault statistics. They only took 3 years to set up Vault 13, which, I mean, for now, for like construction nowadays, I feel like 3 years is pretty good to build a whole, future sci-fi vault. We can stay in here for 10 years at capacity, which is bombs fall in 2077. I guess I don't remember the in-game year. Maybe it's been 10 years. 4 yards of steel is the door thickness. It's 12 feet, right? A yard is 3 feet. Do I have that right? I hope I have that right. 200 feet underground at the start of the game. Computer control systems, the think machine. Primary power supplies, geothermal. Lots of power. 3.98 mega kilowatts per day. Stores complete construction equipment, hydro agricultural farms, water purification from underground river. So I guess that's what I need the water chip for, is to purify the water from the underground river that flows endlessly, I guess. Defensive weaponry to equip 10 men, communication, social, and entertainment files. For total duration. Entertainment files we have will last you. The capacity, the duration, 10 years. Nuclear blast effects. Feel like now I'm getting to the point where I just want to skim. Designed to provide protection from the effects of nuclear blast. To better understand the protection provided, we've included a section from the High Energy Weapons FAQ that explains how a nuclear blast causes damage. First thing, bomb victims experience is the influx of gets really hot because it's a lot of the energy because it's a bomb. Thermal burns. Yes, initial deaths are because you get burned up. The phenomenon is the supersonic blast front. You see it before you hear it because light travels faster than sound. Overpressure phase feels like being underwater a few hundred meters. At a few thousand meters under the sea, pressurized holes implode. Pressure gradually dies off and there is some negative overpressure phase with the reverted blast wind. This reversal is due to air rushing back to fill the void left by the explosion. Is this real? That would be pretty woof. The air gradually returns to normal atmospheric pressure. So you would actually feel a pull back in towards the epicenter of the bomb. Yikes, dude. At this stage, fires caused by electrical destruction and ignited debris turn the place into a firestorm. Then come the middle term effects such as keloid formation and retinal blastoma. Two fantastic things. Genetic or hereditary damage can appear up to 40 years after the initial irradiation. Atmospheric effects of the blast. There's the mushroom cloud, of course. 10 million degrees C. Heat, fission, superheated air. So much light, it looks brighter in the sun. Bummer. That's crazy that in this pamphlet for living safe underground, in the case of a nuclear explosion, that they would detail in depth. I guess it would motivate people to buy a spot in one of the vaults. Overview of the immediate effects. You're in really hot water. You're probably going to die. Wow. Yeah. So it goes on a 7-page rampage about how bad it is for a nuclear bomb to fall on you. And I feel that, Coping with Mr. Virus. How to eat rat. Flotation homes and seaweed. How to dodge falling rocks. I'm glad that they illustrated all of these different. I've never seen the Pip-Boy guy from behind. I don't know if that's true, but it feels like a wrong angle for him. Simulation. Hey, it's me. That's where I'm. That's what everything I'm doing looks like right now. Yeah, they got it. Simtech operations. Oh, that's where I'm at. That's where I last saw my character. This is actually some of the stuff that I think I actually need in order to play the game. Vault Tech Research Group has determined that after a long period of security, many vault dwellers will feel uncomfortable with the idea of returning to the outside world. The Simtech 5000 will provide safe and reassuring return to the life on the outside world. This chapter will give you a brief walkthrough of the operation of the Simtech 5000, which I think is the original Pip-Boy. Yes, new game. The character selection screen will appear. For now, keep the personal record of Matt Stone displayed and select Take. This will make Max your character. In the future, you might not want to do this, but I don't want to not do this. Okay, so there's an INV button. I think I saw it on the display when I was actually in-game. The movement, which is the hexagon, command, which is the cursor, and targeting cursors, respectively. The hand cursor allows you to move an item into your inventory. Click and drag the pistol into the item 1 slot. Release the mouse button. You are now armed. Move the brass knuckles to the item 2 slot. Click on the dub button. You will return to the main game menu. So I should keep that in mind, as opposed to assuming that I have those equipped. Hex cursor's movement. Left click to go there. Left click once to walk there. Walking, you can click to a different location. If you want to interrupt your current walk, simply left click again. Once you're standing next to the computer, right click once. This will change the cursor from the movement cursor to the command cursor. I think I ran into that when I was testing moving around the little opening area there. This will make your character use the computer. Yeah, okay. So change to the command cursor and click the computer in order to use the computer. Left click on your character a couple times. Notice that it rotates you around. Oh, your facing generally does not matter, as your character will turn to face whatever direction is important when needed. That's good to know though. Right click Again, to change the cursor back to the movement cursor, walk to the right side of the vault door. Now change to the command, left click the computer. If you're standing too far away, it will automatically walk or run there when you attempt to use the object. Watch out for vermin as you walk south through the cave. If you come too close, it will decide to attack you. After it moves up to you and bites, combat will start. Notice the combat buttons in the lower right hand corner of the interface bar open up. It's now combat. Left click the pistol, the cursor will change to a target and the rat will be outlined in red. Move the target cursor over to the rat. The number next to the cursor is how likely you are to hit. So it gives you a percent. It should be a pretty big number. Left click the mouse button to shoot the rat. The closer you are to the target, the easier it is to hit them with your ranged weapon. If you miss it, or it takes the bullet but doesn't die, click on the big red button that is attached to the button with the pistol. Okay, so the pistol will have I'm not playing the game currently, obviously, so I can't see this, but it kind of seems like it wants me to do this and play the game at the same time, which, as I was recording this program, every time I alt-tabbed out, it would put the game in a state that was not playable, I guess. Like, it would disappear the screen. I don't know exactly what happened, but I couldn't see the game, but it was still running. I had to force quit it through Task Manager, so I cannot play this and read this at the same time currently, unless I played in windowed mode, which I can make it work. Where was I? Should change the active item from the pistol to the brass knuckles. Left click on the brass knuckles to attack with them. Target the rat again. You can continue to attack until you run out of action points. The number of action points you have remaining is displayed by the row of green lights above your weapon. I don't know that that would have been immediately obvious to me. I mean, maybe it would have based on how the thing is set up, but that might have not been totally clear to me at first. The cost to use a weapon is displayed in the lower left-hand side of the weapon button. When you have just a few action points remaining, end your turn by clicking on the end turn button. Everyone else involved in the combat will get a chance to act, and then it will be your turn again. When your turn starts, your action points are restored. The combat button, the end turn, end combat. Okay. The lights on the interface bar turn from green to red. Don't worry, you'll get a turn soon enough. If the rat starts to run away, you can end the combat by clicking on the end combat button. Once the rat is dead, continue south through the caverns. Hold the shift key and click on a hex to run instead of walk. That's good to know. Shift is the toggle button there. Mine said is always run. I wonder if I can shift to walk. If you encounter rats, use a variety of weapons to attack them. Some weapons are easier and better to use. Because the caves are dark, it's hard to get them from a distance. You might want to use a flare to make it brighter and make it easier to see, and then therefore make it easier to shoot the rats. I mean, that's what it's implying. It doesn't say that. Open the inventory, right click to change from the hand cursor to the inventory command cursor. I have a feeling I'm going to be cycling through my cursors kind of a lot, which I don't know how I totally feel about that, but it's fine. Left click, hold the flare. A list of options will appear. From the top, the list of icons are examine, use, drop, cancel. I wonder if they're icons of examine, use, drop, and cancel. Guess we'll see. Move the mouse button to use the use action. Release the mouse. The flare has now been activated. To keep it separate from the unactivated flares, it is moved to the bottom. Scroll down to the bottom, left click and hold on the activated flare. Select the drop action icon. The lit flare will be dropped to the ground. Any attacks within the zone of light are easier than in pure darkness of the cave. Experiment. I feel like that experiment, I mean, maybe I'm looking too far ahead, but this kind of seems like the kind of game where there are puzzles baked in that aren't always going to be immediately obvious to a player, and maybe especially not immediately obvious to a player in a modern time of video games where you have things like specific game design philosophies around making sure that you always press the right button, or you know what I mean. I ran into this when I was playing Half-Life a long time ago. I had to press a button that was a flat texture on an object that had no highlights around it, that was just for all intents and purposes a button or a lever or whatever it was that I needed to click. And that was something that stood out to me because it looked like a wall texture, whereas in a modern game there would be usually something to indicate that this was a button that you could interact with and not a wall texture for you to just ignore. Maybe that doesn't apply to this, but maybe it does. So I'll have to keep in mind that I might need to experiment and click on things that isn't always immediately obvious. You might get hurt if you do use a stim pack. Stim packs heal yourself, but never over your maximum hit points. Another method of healing is to rest. Press Z on your keyboard. This will display the Pip-Boy clock. Oh, there are Pip-Boys. Okay, cool. Z on the keyboard is important. Click on the until healed line. Okay, so is there anything? Oh, it has an in-game clock. I noticed when I was starting it was 150 days until the water ran out. Spend time resting until all of your hit points are restored. Another way to access the clock is to click on the Pip button on the interface and then click on the alarm clock in the upper left-hand corner of the Pip-Boy. There are usually a couple different ways of performing the major functions of the game. That's nice. Select the pistol, right click once, this will display the targeted attack symbol in the lower right hand corner. Whereas before you, I think, just clicked the pistol and then clicked the rat and then you shot it. I'll have to experiment with that because I think it's going to make more sense in game than it does on paper. Cool. So you have your VAT system, so you can shoot them in the leg or whatever. Some areas are harder to hit. Chance of you doing more damage or some other effect is increased by making a targeted attack. When you're tired of killing rats, you can try sneaking past them. Good sneak will let you avoid the rats. Press the skill dex, click on the sneak skill. Okay, so this isn't just a way to see your skills, but it's a way to start activating your skills as well. There's no combat penalty for trying to sneak and getting caught at it. Do not run. Do not run. If you run, you cannot sneak anymore. Sneak carefully around the rats. Oh, I run on by default. Okay, I'll have to think about this. There are other skills in the skill dex that can be used. The first aid and doctor skills allow you to heal yourself and other characters in the game. All the skills except sneak require that you give a target to use the skill on. Sure. If you are hurt, open the skill dex and select first aid. It will turn yellow. Click on your character. If you're a good medic, you will heal some hit point damage or do nothing. So, for free? Can I do that over and over? Huh. I guess we'll find out. When you've explored enough of the caverns, go to the south, and then to the west to the auto map, which can be accessed by clicking the map button, or pressing the tab key, map or tab, will show your location in the caves. You are looking for a long tunnel in the southwest corner of the caves. When you reach the edge of the tunnel, you will see natural light. Walk into the light. This will take you to the world map. The world map is how you get around the vast outdoors. Click on the Vault 15 button on the right hand side of the screen, and remember that. This will start walking you to your first destination. Exiting the vault caverns, patch of darkness in the light is the exit grid. Walk into the exit grid to leave the map. The world is dark to start. As you explore, areas will be revealed. A green circle on the world map denotes an important area. Vault 13 has a green circle since it is so important. You should stop and explore any other important areas that you come across. Be careful exploring. If you spend too much time looking for new areas, you could find that the vault has run out of water. Since your mission is to save the vault from this terrible end, you should do everything you can to avoid it. Good luck. I think I've heard that you can just come back after 200 days and everyone's dead, which is crazy. So we have our special. Hey, I don't know if does it say special? S-P-E-C-I-A-L. I mean, it says special, but nowhere in here does it tell you about this, I don't think. All characters have 7 primary statistics. Spend character points on statistics. It never outlines the fact that this spells special. I mean, at least it doesn't here. That's odd to me. Is that like a Easter egg at first? Like you're supposed to figure that one yourself? That's kind of neat, actually. If you want a big physical character, go over high strength. If you want to play a character that can shoot guns at targets really far away, buy up perception. A character with high endurance will be able to fight longer and less likely to die in combat. Characters who like to talk to people should buy up their charisma. Characters who want lots of choices and dialogue should pick a higher intelligence stat. That's interesting. Okay, that's really good to know. Let me actually read this whole thing. Your mental strength and abilities. The higher your intelligence, the more skills you will excel in. Okay, so more skills. The more options you have in dialogue. And the more options you have in dialogue. High intelligence is important to any character. Interesting. I think I made my character a real dum-dum because I made him a child. So, I've heard legend that if you lower your intelligence as low as it can go, your character's dialogue options will be like, duh, huh? You know? Combat and thief characters should have a higher agility than diplomatic or scientific characters. I have a feeling my character, if I keep them the way they are, will be relatively thiefy. I believe I give them a good agility, a relatively high charisma, but low intelligence, mid-luck, chonky boy. I remember saying that. I think I gave him pretty good perception because I figured that if they're surviving out in these wastes, that they would have to have a relatively good perception. Luck is the odd statistics, fate, karma, how the universe feels you, modify many things. All characters benefit from high luck and will suffer a little more with low luck. Your statistics will generally not improve directly through experience or gameplay. That's also really good to know. You should plan on seeing the same statistics throughout the course of your adventures and plan accordingly. Okay. Sequence. This statistic will determine who will go first in combat. I was not sure about sequence when I first read it, and in which order people and critters will get to act. See combat for more information. The higher the sequence value sets initiative, the more likely you will act before your opponent. Okay, that's really, really good to know. Complete skill list. Let's see if that first aid, if it will tell me a little bit about it. The skill of minor healing. You will be able to cure minor wounds, cuts, and bruises with this skill. You can only use it 3 times per day. Okay, there's the limiter. And it takes a little while to work. Active use. Select a target to heal, but this is most likely going to be you. Every crippled limb will add the time required to use the doctor's skill. I actually don't know if there's hacking in this game. I just figured that there would be because it's in New Vegas, but that might not necessarily be true. Huh. Not all people are the same. Their age will tell a lot about them. Your character's age will help you better define your character. Personnel are ready to leave the vault at age 16 and will have lost that sparkle in their step by the age of 35. Bummer. You can choose an inclusive age between 16 and 35. The game let me... Huh? The game let me go down to 8. Age will have no direct influence on your character during the character creation stage. Age will have some small bearing on the game. It is mostly a player choice. There is no direct penalty or benefit from playing a younger or older character. That's weird. I wonder if the mod that I'm using, like the engine mod, lets you go below 16 and up to 60, because it definitely let me go from 8 to 60 and not 16 to 35. That's interesting. This will have some small bearing on the game, so choose carefully. Okay. Weird, but okay. It will not have a large bearing on the adventure, so don't think too much about it. I feel like they're really couching. They're really traipsing around something here, and I don't know if it's great. Some non-player characters will react differently to you if you are a man or a woman. I'm sure that will be delightful. However they react, better or worse. Name your character. If you don't, people will call you None, the character with no name. Vault Tech apologizes to Vault Dwellers with the name of Bob for the use of that name in this example. Bob is pretty boring. Spike is better. That's really funny. Dr. Atomic is perfect for the budding young scientist type characters. Why do they have a section for this? I don't know if it's just because it's late. That's striking me as really funny. Spike's a better name. Do that one. Okay. Instrumentation. Okay. Oh, cool. So it gives me, a little example. Normal view, interface bar. I kind of want to know about all of the different buttons. I've already learned about Z and tab. Switch active item. That's really good to know. It's not labeled, so this button switches active item. This is my options menu. This is my active item. Oh, these are my action points. Okay, I think that would have been pretty clear to me what that was meant to be. This is my ammo bar. Not sure I would have noticed that right away. My hit point counter is here. Yep, AC is here. Cool. I like this diagram. Up arrow. It sure is. I can have 2 active items prepared for instantaneous use. That's cool. It's a toggle. Click it once, you go to item 2. Click it again, you go to item 1. Click it again, you go to item 2. Click it on, click it again, you go to item 1, and so on. Okay. It will open the inventory. In combat, this will cost you some action points. Even if you do nothing in the inventory, you still lose the action points. Ooh, spooky. It's kind of interesting. So if you go rooting around in your backpack, the game calls you on it. Yep, action, command, targeting, movement, command, targeting. This is a lot of explanation for what is effectively moving, using an object, and attacking something. I'm not going to read it right now. I might read it later, but I think I get it, you know? I'm really getting that experience. The year is 1998, the year I was born. I open up the book to section 4, page 9, and I look at this and I go, oh yeah, okay. And then I move on. That's great. That's the original experience, isn't it? Oh, this is good. I'm glad they give me this, though. Use item, or get, is the hand. Examine, binoculars. And use skill on is the boy. Drop item, rotate character. Oh, yeah, your facing can be important. Not always, but can be. I don't know that I would have known use skill on. So I'm glad they gave me that there. Talk is this disembodied mouth. Use inventory item on is the pouch. Unload ammo is the... That one works. That one works for me. Cancel is cancel. Here's some effects. I feel like they're all pretty self-explanatory. Eye, arm, and leg damage. Pass time quickly. Use this alarm clock to rest until the time you set. That's kind of neat. They have like a wait option. What on earth? The various timer settings allows you to rest or sleep for 10, 30, 1 hour, 2 hour, 3, 4, 5, 6 hour, until 6 a.m., until 12, until 6, until 12 again, until healed. Huh. That's more granular than I thought it would be. Things to do. The Pip-Boy 2000 can be used to keep track of important dates and events. We reprogrammed your Pip-Boy to keep track of the number of days remaining in the vault water stores. This node is the only thing you should care about until we are safe and have a restored water processing chip. Take note of the number of days before we croak. If that happens, your adventure on the outside won't be worth a set of thermal underwear in Death Valley at high noon. We'll be dead. And we don't want that. Go to it. Your Pip-Boy 2000 has a 3-month limited warranty. Again, I think if they die, I can just keep adventuring, right? Is it a lose state? I mean, I don't want them to die. I'll play the game, but I don't think that ends my adventure. That's what it looks like outside. That's maybe the world map. Sick. Okay. Town maps. Dialogue, chatting dialogue. Watch carefully. Sometimes a person will sneak important clues into a single chat. Ah. And if you persist in your current action, they may get very upset with you. So this can matter, but won't always. Extended dialogue. You'll zoom in. Gotcha. Yep. Review. Oh, that's nice. There's a review dialogue button. That's cool. There's bartering interface. I can read about bartering, or I can just try it and see if I need to come back to this. Oh. Hey, this is cool. Controls the difficulty level of reactions and other non-combat skill rolls. Negative reactions modifiers are halved, and other non-combat rolls are made with +20 if set to easy. If set to hard, they are increased by 25. Okay, you can adjust this at any time during the game. There is no penalty or reward for using settings besides normal. That's neat. Okay, so that's actually what that is for. It is strictly a personal preference. There's no reward for using a higher level difficulty. There's no penalty for using a lower combat difficulty. You can adjust it at any time. Conflict resolution. Wow, look at this. Is that the original Deathclaw art? Am I looking at some of the first Deathclaw? That's pretty nifty. Okay. I am feeling like I am nearing the point where I have the information that I am interested in having. This is a cool table, actually, to be able to see how these different things affect. And maybe a good thing to reference while I'm in the midst of combat, like shooting, running, and opening a door, or shooting, access my inventory to get a key, maybe, if that applies, and then opening a door. Is that going to use all my AP? That's a good table to have. Chance to hit. Oh, nice. This actually tells me what. Really, rifles are small guns. I did not expect that. Yep. Okay. I think I'm going to call it good for now and actually get playing before I start getting into the nitty-gritty of what the rest of this means. It's got a nice item description list, which is cool, but I think I kind of want to find some of these for myself. And then it has an XP table. That's kind of neat with a title. That's awesome. Again, I kind of want to run into those when I find them. Some of these are good to know, and some of these kind of feel like they border on what I want to find when I'm in the middle of the game. And then again, I don't feel like reading this whole thing. What's this? The Garden of Eden Creation Kit. Base replicator unit. Hollow disk reader with library. Interesting. Okay, well, I think that's going to do it for reading the guide for today, and I am looking forward to jumping back into the game and doing the rest of the play and then referring back to this as necessary. So thank you for joining me in reading together the Vault Dweller Survival Guide for the original Fallout series. I will see you all next time. Goodbye.